But once you start tasting freedom, he says you can't put the genie back in the bottle. And his view is, if it's not the end, it's definitely the beginning of the end. Being in Miami is, for us, we feel extremely welcome. And in fact, in a few moments, I'm going to welcome both the Republican and the Democrat mayors of both Miami and Miami Beach, respectively, because we believe that the struggle against authoritarianism worldwide is one that should include people from across the political and ideological spectrum. We have no affiliations in that sense from our office. We are very interested in protecting those rights for everyone to be able to express themselves, regardless of where they are politically. The fact of being in Miami is also interesting because Miami is a city that is so central to the discussion about what's going on in the longest running totalitarian system in this hemisphere. And of course, I'm speaking about the family dictatorship of the Castros in Cuba. And recently, if you were to read the news and the way it was covered, whether it was Bloomberg or the New York Times or the Washington Post, they covered it as Cubans are rising up against the pandemic response of the Cuban government. There's an ongoing discussion about the pandemic response, the things the Cuban government did or did not do during the pandemic. But nobody who was marching in Cuba was yelling down with coronavirus. They were chanting libertad. And if you read the signs, they say, down with the dictatorship. You know, in speaking with a Cuban political prisoner who spent 22 years in a Cuban prison, we were having this discussion a few days ago, and he was telling me, once you've tasted that, and most of those people marching were born into a dictatorship. So they've never actually tasted freedom. Those who've been lucky enough to be able to exit Cuba since Cuba started allowing international travel have been able to taste it as well. But once you start tasting freedom, he says you can't put the genie back in the bottle. And his view is, if it's not the end, it's definitely the beginning of the end. So we're thrilled to be in Miami for that reason, and in solidarity with several Cuban speakers such as Tania Bruguera, an artist who will also be speaking here.
Síguenos en Telegram. La realidad cubana y del mundo, sin censura, también en Telegram. Cibercuba, la voz digital de los cubanos.